Welcome to How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Poke a Stick At podcast, a mix of both solo episodes and expert interviews. Our ideal listener is an early career, ambitious, and passionate online language services provider. She is committed to professional growth and achieving success in the fiercely competitive translation and interpreting industry. She balances multiple responsibilities with resourcefulness, values mentorship, is open to learning, and investing in her professional development journey. She embraces technology and seeks to optimize workflow, eager to connect with like-minded peers and build out her professional network. She is determined to overcome challenges and become a sought-after freelance translator. And here's your host, medical translator and translator business mentor, Jason Willis-Lee.
Philippe Mercier is the founder and CEO of Wordscope, a web-based computer-assisted translation tool that integrates artificial intelligence to enhance translation quality and efficiency. He began his career as an IT consultant and authored several software programming books published by Hachette France. His passion for writing and IT expertise led him to the field of translation and software localization, where he took part in numerous projects and held various positions within translation agencies. Drawing on his experience in IT and understanding of the challenges faced by translators, he has developed innovative solutions to meet their specific needs. More recently, he has incorporated the latest advancements in AI, such as machine translation and ChatGPT, into Wordscope. This integration aims to assist translators in enhancing the quality and speed of their services, addressing the growing demand for translation in our globalized world. Philippe has been actively involved in discussions about the role of AI in translation, emphasizing its potential to improve productivity and quality. He has shared insights on leveraging AI-powered features while maintaining confidentiality in platforms like Wordscope. Through his work with Wordscope, Philippe Mercier continues to contribute to the evolution of translation tech, helping translators adapt to the advancements in artificial intelligence. And welcome to yet another episode of How to Find More Direct Clients, freelancer training on how to find more direct clients. This is the podcast that I host, Jason Willis-Lee. This is the show that makes digital marketing easier and more fun by using the perfect combination and just the right dose of business strategy and tech. I'm your host, Jason Willis-Lee, digital marketing specialist, and today I'm very, very happy and very excited to talk to and welcome Philippe Mercier. Philippe is the CEO and founder of Wordscope. He's very much a VIP guest. I consider him a VIP guest, one of the most important we've had on the show. And he brings a very unique perspective to our industry. So Philippe, welcome to the show and thank you for accepting my invitation.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Could you just to break the ice for the audience, could you tell us a little about your business journey and especially what led you to be ahead of the curve in founding Wordscope, this integration between human and AI translation? How did that come about, that idea, and what's your unique vision for the future of translation using AI and humans as a hybrid solution?
Okay, just a few words maybe about me so that will help to understand how we can achieve and what were the idea behind that. So I'm a software engineer, and I started working in the localization industry quite a long time ago, more than 25 years. And it was interesting because earlier in my career, I'd been writing 10 software programming books. So I've always been interested in writing and IT. So I think that localization was the best of both worlds, and it was very interesting for me. So I've been involved in different translation agency, handling large projects, then as a localization manager for another translation company, a CEO also of a small agency. And so I have a good understanding of what the translators needs. Always been developing all kinds of tools to make the life of translators easier. So, we were not using machine translation until 2017 when we all discovered neural machine translation, which started to give really excellent results. So at that moment, I thought it would be interesting to put all the tools I may have been working on and to put that into one tool, because this is what Wordscope does. It's not just an empty CAD tool. So we provide terminology database of empty system. And then early 2023, when we discover ChatGPT a few months earlier, end of 2022, we thought that would be an excellent extra tool, one more tool. So we have integrated that into Wordscope, and it proved to be really useful. So that's really what we try to do with Wordscope, is put a maximum of assistance for the translators.
How exactly does the integration of ChatGPT with Wordscope enhance translators' workflow? Is it just a productivity issue, or is there something else you see behind your software solution?
Yeah, it's more than that, because the basic assistance of Wordscope is working with several neural machine translation, because there is not one good way to translate. You know, these days we talk about a lot about MTPE, machine translation, post editing, like if there was only one way to translate. In Wordscope, we like to connect, you know, and give suggestions from different MT systems so the translator can compare. And then at some point, we realize that sometimes you want to change a word in a sentence, or you want to have an explanation. And so we have prepared a series of action button or functions. So you can, for example, select one word in the translation and ask ChatGPT to provide alternatives, so it will keep the same sentence and change the word, or we can ask it to explain that, or even some interesting function like proofread, because we can ask ChatGPT, okay, can you proofread the translation, make sure it's a faithful translation, but correct spelling, grammar, and check everything, and it does that very well. And it is interesting because you don't need to copy paste, you know, take the sentence from your CAT tool, go into ChatGPT, and Wordscope decide what is good, provide some context. We can link it to glossaries, to private glossaries. That's very interesting. So, for example, when Wordscope queried ChatGPT, it provides the glossary entries if some are found in the current sentence. And then ChatGPT can even tell you, oh, you didn't respect the terminology and things like that. So it becomes really an integrated system. And that makes a big difference, yes.
What was the specific challenge in the industry that you were aiming to solve? This is a SaaS business you've launched. This is software as a service. What number one problem were you aiming to solve when you came up with Wordscope?
Well, we try to do two things, three maybe. We try to make it, because it's a SaaS system, as you say, it's available on all platforms. So if you want to work on a Mac, you don't need to work in a virtual machine. You don't need to do any updates. It can work on Mac, on Windows, in any browser, with very light PC. You don't need any powerful PC. That is something really interesting. We've tried also to make it extremely simple. So as I say, you don't need to do installation, but you can get working with your first project in just a minute. And we thought also that with our experience working on so many projects in the past in different agencies, that, as I said earlier, translators spend a lot of time looking for terminology, going somewhere else, exiting the software, finding information. And we thought that was taking too much time. So we have tried to provide everything into one single system.
Let's move to the future. What is the further role do you think of AI enhanced translation? What are the next steps, or what are the challenges you've had, perhaps scaling your business? You've got a number of users, presumably. What is the next step for us as translators staying in the industry? And I'm a medical translator, so I'm interested in this as a solution for medical reports and how good is it? How good is the AI now dealing with complex acronyms and all of these medical conditions and tests and markers that we all see? What is the next step, do you think, by 2030? Let's take it 5 years. Just paint us
Yeah.
a picture of where we'll be in 5 years' time in terms of Wordscope and AI, human translation in general.
That is maybe a bit too far because things are moving so fast.
Yeah.
But for example, what we are trying to do also now is to, as I said, enhance those systems. So you can have ChatGPT or you can have DeepL, but it's like a generic system. And we're doing some research by combining this with medical resource or medical content. We can already improve the results of such system and can assist you even more. So, for example, we have compared standard DeepL with private glossaries and a custom MT system, MT that has been trained with the data of an institution. And the result were as good with the standard system and a good glossary. And because we tend to forget that glossaries and context are very important, like if DeepL or if ChatGPT could do everything. But this is not the case. But if you combine that with good old glossaries, and then we reach some very interesting results. So I think we probably go into specialized system like that will help control how things are, control the quality and assist even more.
Could you walk us through, please, a couple of the key features of Wordscope and then talk about the feedback from the users? What kind of, how has this been received by your customers? Have people been resistant about the ChatGPT integration, or has it generally been very smooth? And what are maybe the top 2 or 3 features of Wordscope that you can sort of highlight?
So yeah, I think people are every time we had the opportunity to show what Wordscope can do, they're quite impressed because we have tried to make it powerful but simple to use at the same time. So yeah, the strange thing that it's a bit difficult at this moment is that there seems to be like 2 camps on the market, translator who loves AI and translator who fear AI or
Yes.
just hate. And that is dangerous, I think. And for example, some translator association are doing really good work and try to inform their members. But some are still in between, they don't know if they can talk about AI because they have some members that do not like AI. So it's a bit, difficult. And what we see is that the feedback we have from our customers is that some of them, I have an example in mind, say, oh, since I'm using Wordscope, I've doubled my turnover. And I remember asking, wow, double your turnover? How can that happen? And in fact, that example was a woman translating news article. That was one of the main things. And then because she could do it faster and while maintaining the quality with TM, and because we still use TM and things like that, and then the customer would give her more work and more work because, that's a good example. When you're translating news article, you cannot wait 5 days. They need to be translated fast, but still quality because it was for an important customer. Yeah. And so the customer gave more work and more work. And that's how she could increase her productivity and increase the price because the price per word didn't change. And so that's one thing. So I have a bit the impression that some work is moving from translator not using AI to translator using AI. So that's a bit a shame because we may lose some very good translator because they are not properly informed that it's a tool. It's not going to replace them. We can show plenty of examples that AI alone doesn't do the job.
Absolutely, 100%. One of the objections to AI, in my opinion, is the issue of sensitive data and confidentiality. How does Wordscope specifically handle data sensitivity and confidentiality issues when using the ChatGPT integration? Can you say something that will allay fears of problems with confidentiality?
Yeah. First, the most important thing is that Wordscope use only the pro version of all the tools, DeepL and ChatGPT. So we don't use any free version, because the free version, it is clear that if a translator use free ChatGPT, they can use the data, to train their system. But if you are using the pro version of the tool, then you can check the general condition. They guarantee that they are not using the data to train their system. So that's one thing. And we are covering all the costs for that. So it's part of our subscription. You don't need to have a special ChatGPT subscription. It's Wordscope takes care of that. The second thing about confidentiality, again, if you work from home and use ChatGPT, they may know that it is you because it's your subscription, and by using Wordscope, they don't know that because all the requests are coming from Wordscope server. So it's absolutely anonymous regarding who is translating if you are a translator for working for the police, for example, it won't be your IP address. So that second thing. The third important thing is that, some people say, okay, you can paste your entire document into ChatGPT, and of course, that's not the best idea. With Wordscope, what we do, we send only small segments, a bit of context, a few glossary entries, never the complete glossary, a few glossary entries, a very minimal amount of text to provide the assistance needed at one moment. And that means that we do that for each user. So if we have X dozen or hundreds of users connected at the same time, all those requests will be completely mixed when they arrive at the ChatGPT server or DeepL, it's not one document, so all the requests arrive at the same time. So that is an extra level of confidentiality. It will be very difficult to rebuild a document that way.
Is it currently possible, Philippe, for 3 translators to work on the same project on Wordscope? Is that currently possible? Can you have multi-users at the same time?
Absolutely. Because again, that's one very interesting feature of using a SaaS system, is that Wordscope allow you to divide the project into a few parts, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending. You can upload like in a project, maybe you have an Excel file, a Word file, and a PowerPoint, and Wordscope will take care of dividing that automatically. And then, of course, because the system is online, when one translator translates something in part 1, and there is something similar in part 2, a few minutes after, the second translator will benefit from the translation from the first one, because it's recorded in the translation memory automatically. It is shared between the translators, and so it's really a good collaboration. And there is also in Wordscope like an internal messaging system, so you can attach some comment to a segment, for example. And if I have a doubt when translating the segment, I can say create a small sticky note and assign it to you, and then you will receive a pop-up if you're online, or email if you are not, with the question and the link to the segment. You can answer that when you have time. So it's it's really like a collaboration system that's it's online.
And it's entirely in real time, Philippe? It's
in real time,
in real
absolutely.
time. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can you share any plans for the future development of Wordscope? What are you working on for the next 12 months? How is its AI capabilities evolving along with the market? Because as you said, the market is evolving fast. How does that affect Wordscope?
Yeah, so yeah, we have a lot of requests for new things, and for example, one important thing that we release soon, some translator, if you are working for an agency, maybe you will be asked to do a Trados project, and maybe the other agency will ask you to do a memo queue project. So it's difficult for translator to jump from one software to the other one. So we have had a lot of requests asking if we could handle all those formats and return them as requested. So that is something, for example, that we will release soon, probably this month, is the possibility to handle Trados, MemoQ, phrase software, and to return them in that format. So you're working for an agency, you get a MemoQ file, you can translate it in Wordscope and then return the proper MemoQ file to your customer. So that's something, a request that we have received a lot.
What about customizable options? Are there customizable options for very specialist fields such as law, medicine? Is there a way of getting a customized option in Wordscope for those fields, such as a medical report, a deed of a property deed, for example, very specialist documents?
Yeah. There's something that you can do at two levels at this moment. For example, we have integrated quite a lot of online glossaries, EAT from the European Commission, the Termium, and things like that.
Yeah.
And in your case, for example, some medical glossaries, NORMED, WHO, and things like that. So that's one thing. By default, Wordscope will search all glossaries. Sometimes it's not the best idea, so you can customize that and say, okay, I want to use only a few glossaries. Also, something that we can do is more, for example, if you want to send a project to your client for proofreading, maybe you don't want your client to see all the interface of Wordscope. You don't want your client to see ChatGPT or to see empty suggestion, for example. That's a request we have received. So you can customize the screen so it becomes minimal, for example. Then you send the proofreading link to your customer, and there is no ChatGPT, there is no menu, that kind of things that you can really customize when working with your customer or with a proofreader or things like that.
Philippe, let's go on to a few quick-fire audience questions. You're obviously a productivity expert. Your tool is improving productivity to the point where the example you gave, the woman with double the productivity, which is fantastic. What is one productivity tool or tip you can't live without? Obviously, we have Wordscope, but can you give us another productivity tool that you implement into your personal workflow to help your own work productivity?
You mean running Wordscope as a company?
Yes, for example. So how do you deal with your own productivity? You're obviously getting inundated with a lot of requests, a lot of add-ons to the software. There is a productivity question there. How do you optimize your own performance as a SaaS expert to get the best productivity for yourself?
Well, for example, we've tried to use AI tool like ChatGPT, or because some people say that these tools can provide some code for engineer, and so we have tried to do some small parts of our development with this tool, but to be honest, so far it has been unsuccessful. So it works if you want to build a very quick web page or form, but a CAD tool like Wordscope is a very complex application. Took us 5 years to get where we are, and so far we have no success using AI tool for development, at least. But we are using ChatGPT for other stuff, but not for development. Yeah.
Is it correct to say that the ChatGPT integration of Wordscope is programmed in Python? Because I know that Python
No.
there is
No,
no
it's not.
Python at all.
No, it's no Python at all.
Okay, so
Uh,
what can you reveal some of the code behind the platform? Because my understanding was that GPTs are all coded in Python and in particular a
no,
platform called Jupyter. Can you
no,
talk
no,
about?
no. OpenAI provides an API. So it means you can query ChatGPT with all kind of parameters. And that's what Wordscope do. So when you do a request, we have prepared all the prompts, we have tested them because that takes a lot of time, you know.
Yes.
If you as a translator have to type, can you please translate this into that will take you more time than it saves you. So we have tested a lot of prompts. And so what Wordscope does, as I say, it build a prompt, use the prompt, and assemble everything with your glossary entries, some context and things like that, and then use an API to send that request to ChatGPT, get the request, filter it properly, because, for example, when we provide two translation suggestions from ChatGPT, we use a track change system, so it's easier for you to see what are the differences. And those are extra programming that you cannot do using a standard ChatGPT interface.
You said earlier that translators fall into two camps, AI friendly, AI unfriendly. What do
Mhm.
you think is one myth about AI enhanced translation when it comes to working in general with Wordscope or any other tool? What is one myth that you feel that the people unfriendly towards AI believe that is a myth that we could bust? I like to do a lot of myth busting and helping get people over the mindset that AI is not taking their job. It's to be leveraged for extra productivity, just like the example you gave. Can you give an example of a myth that some people perhaps tell you or some negative feedback about AI, the reasons they don't want to use Wordscope?
I'm not sure it's that they don't want to use Wordscope. I think they don't want to use AI in
In
general.
general,
And I
yeah,
think, yeah, it's probably uh, because of a lack of information, you know. And the problem also is that everybody can now try something on DeepL and see that it's quite good.
yeah,
But uh, as we know, as a translator, doing one translation is not good enough. You need to respect the context, need to respect the guide style. Maybe there are plenty of things. So otherwise, everybody could be a translator, which is certainly not true. So I think people fear AI and they don't try. They don't give them a chance to try, and that's the problem.
yeah.
They don't try simply. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why, because it wouldn't take them much time to do it, and I would strongly recommend. You know, the problem also that we hear quite a lot is that there is a pressure of prices,
Mm,
but mainly for from very large translation agency. I've been working in large translation agency and small translation agency or medium size, and I can tell you that good translators, as I say, they are gold for a translation agency.
yes.
A small agency, if a project manager is used to work with one translator and the translator is providing the good work that that is requested, and the PM know that the customer is happy, you know, that project manager will never try to push down the price or choose another translator, because it's so important to keep the customer happy. And you know, the small agency has less resource. So if it is working with several good translators, make sure to keep them happy. So my recommendation would be work for small agencies or find direct clients. Jason, I, I
That's
don't
what
have
I
to tell you that.
that's what I
Yeah,
try and help people do. Yes.
I
Fi-
think that's
That's
excellent.
that's very important. Philippe, what's your number one challenge when scaling a SaaS business? What's the number one challenge or difficulty you've faced in scaling Wordscope and getting the users onto the curve and getting a multiple number of users? What's your biggest number one challenge? Is it
The
change
number,
management, getting people to overcome that hurdle, the mental hurdle of using the tool?
no, I wouldn't say that because the tool is very easy to use. The
Mm-hmm.
number one challenge for us is to spread the word. And,
Dissemination. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Philippe, what's the best business advice you've ever received from a mentor, a colleague, someone you've worked with? What's the best business advice? Or perhaps you've given someone else?
Yeah, I think be open to new things because
Mm. Yeah.
things are changing all the time. I remember when I started working in this business, not every translator was using TM, and it was already the same fear. And I remember we were organizing a meeting to explain Translator, and some translators were very upset about TM, and now everybody's using TM and find it normal. So change is always difficult.
Yeah.
But
Change management can take years. It can take
uh,
years to.
it's always difficult. So, and here it's quite easy to try. It's not like changing everything in your way of working. It's not like AI is going to throw everything away. It's just an extra tool. So it's not such a big change.
Philippe, one word to describe AI. Just a last quick fire question. One word to describe AI. What is the first word that pops into your head when I ask that?
Um, Innovation, of course.
Of course.
Impressive, I would say. Impressive.
Impressive. That's a good one. So, Philippe, any final takeaways for the skeptical listeners among us? Let's just say we have listeners who are in the AI unfriendly camp. What would your message be, which relates to the change management and getting over the mental sort of blockade, just as we had with TMs and cat tools maybe 25 years ago? Any special message for those unconvinced or unconverted listeners who perhaps would like to try Wordscope, but they haven't or they're afraid?
Yeah, my only recommendation would be to try. It will take you just an hour to try. For example, Workscope has a free bronze version. You don't need any credit card. You can just sign up and create an account, and it will be free to do 3 projects per month, completely for free. You can try all the tools, so it won't take you a lot of time to try. Then, of course, you can make your own decision because maybe for your field or it may not be the right tool, but at least I would recommend to try.
Okay, where can my listeners connect with you, Philippe? Where is the best platform to look up online? Is it LinkedIn? Do you have
Yeah,
another
LinkedIn
space?
it's a good platform. Or if a user need an assistant, we have also an online chat on the Wordscope platform. So you can try it on pro.wordscope.com, https pro.wordscope.com. There is also another website which is docs.wordscope.com, where we have already plenty of useful information, but we really always here to help. And on Docs also, you can find an events page where we'd be doing some trainings and everything is announced there.
Fantastic. Okay, so the number of projects that we can do if we are a paid user is presumably unlimited. It's 3 for the test version, the free version, unlimited if we sign up for the platform.
We have three systems. We have a bronze version, which is limited to 3 version, 1 TM and something like that. Then we have a silver version, which is limited to 20 projects per month. And then we have a gold, which is unlimited on everything.
That's fantastic. And we can get an offer out to the audience, hopefully in the show notes. Is that a possibility? Can we get a special offer?
Yeah, we can provide a special code that you can share with your audience. And what we do generally to help people get in, we provide a code that offers a 40% discount for life, but
Oh, wow.
it must the coupon must be used in a limited time period.
Limited time frame. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, well, let's wrap it up for today's episode of How to Find More Direct Clients. I hope you stay tuned to our show for more engaging discussions on the ever-evolving landscape of language and marketing. I want to say a very special thanks to Philippe. Thank you for joining me. It was very informative. Pleasure talking to you. And until next time, just stay on your game and remember to future-proof your translator career in the AI digital era. Bye for now, and thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone.
Here's a fun fact about Jason. The son of 2 music teachers, Jason is still a keen amateur pianist. Thanks for tuning in to the How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Poke a Stick At podcast. We'll be back soon. In the meantime, why not head over to www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com to access all our tools and resources to monetize and future-proof your freelance translation business. And don't forget to hit the plus button in Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or subscribe in Spotify to be notified when new episodes drop. For regular tips and insights, business strategy, or marketing techniques straight to your inbox, please sign up at www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com.